Hello, welcome to Switched On. This is podcast 7. I'm Riddle and this is Mike. Today we're going to be discussing the SNES Mini Classic, the actual console, what it's like instead of what our thoughts are.
Guys.
What's that?
It's here now, we got it.
Yeah, we got it,
Finally.
we got it, finally. It's all good.
So there's that. We did both get it. And so did Signosis. It was a bit of a hairy sprint at the finish. Got a pre-order in the day before. Did not expect it, but one shop got it for me, which means I've now got a SNES Classic Mini. We're going to have our unboxing videos up probably shortly after this or shortly before this. We both done that unboxing video.
Yeah, which was quite funny to do.
It was good. It's nice. First things first, your first impressions.
Oh, now my first impression. Okay, so when you see my unboxing, you'll probably laugh, but I did like the cardboard. I thought it was really nicely presented. I thought it was very nice to open the box, a click of the opening, and the drawer when you pull it out, and you see all that packaging nicely, neatly wrapped up, and looking through the manual, I was really, really impressed. I really liked it, to be honest.
I can't believe I'm opening the SNES in a brand new SNES purchase in 2017. It's been over 25 years since we probably unboxed our SNES, or even maybe longer than that.
You luckily had one. I had to play my friend's one because I never owned one.
Missed out on one of the greatest consoles. Oh, you haven't? You got it all now?
Yeah, I've got it.
Library. Super Metroid should be one that you get to straight away. I thought it. I'm just bossing you now and just telling you what you have to. My impressions were. I mean, we've seen videos. You guys have seen videos. But to actually then see how small it actually was and how well made it is, I'm impressed. Yeah, I'm glad I got one. The packaging, to me, was standard, but I don't. I like the box. The box is nice. It reminds me of actually what the original SNES box kind of was like. In some respect, with all the games out on the back. Didn't
you think it was really carefully wrapped? Everything. Do you see how neatly wrapped the controllers were?
Yeah, it was quite snug, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Do you think it looked a little like, compare that to the Switch unboxing?
Yeah, but when I unboxed the Switch, I was so tentative. I didn't want to drop it, break it, get fingerprints on it. I can't remember the last time I was that excited for a console. I have to admit. And it's an expensive new piece of technology, and you know, a lot of modern technology is delicate, and if you drop it, you're going to break the screen.
I totally agree on that. But with the Switch, it was quite nicely presented. But I just loved the fact that it had that nice white foam packaging.
Yeah.
For me, I haven't got to really unbox too many new consoles because I've always had to buy mine second hand because unfortunately I'm not made of money, and nor is most of the population.
The Wii was a good unboxing. Yeah, the shelf 1 and shelf 2.
Yeah, I agree on that because I actually got that new.
That was really good. I like that.
Do you see that had the same white sort of perforated paper that the SNES Mini had?
Yeah. The polystyrene sort of packaging.
It is an experience.
I think the first thing that stood out to me is knowing that I had it and I was going home to play it, become very apparent looking at the back of the box like a small child again, thinking about the games I could play, was the value for money. You are getting value for money. I mean, let's say you wanted to buy every one of those games on a virtual console, which is the most legitimate way to buy them now, in the most non-redundant way would be on the Wii, probably the Wii virtual console, more so than the Wii U because it didn't emulate as well. You're spending more than the £79 it cost or the £80 it cost to buy, and then you consider you're getting a piece of actual hardware, a collector's piece, a mantelpiece. It looks nice on the shelf. You get HDMI cable in there. Nintendo's HDMI cable was quite good quality. And,
I thought that as well.
USB cable, 2 controllers in the box. I think just it's worth it. Well worth it. So, the next thing though is, what was the first game you went to?
Ooh. So the first game I actually went into was Super Mario World, just because I've been playing it on my 3DS, but I had to go because I was like, I haven't played it with an original controller for quite a while. And when you play an old SNES on a new TV, it's just it looks
input lag and it looks blurry as
So that was the first game I played. So yeah, what was your first game you went straight to?
Mario Kart. I don't know why. I popped into Mario Kart. I was like, let's look at these old Mode 7 graphics. You know, I knew what they were called back in the day. I just played them, but I was like, that's going to be the biggest test of time, I think. And it is. I mean, I played Mario Kart within the last 5 years. The SNES Super Mario Kart. Done everything on it again. Played most of these games within the last 5 years, I think, in one way or another. But I just want to see how Mario Kart looked with the pixel perfect mode. First thing I noticed is how vibrant the colours are. It does feel like the games have had a fresh lick of paint, just how nice they look on a HD TV compared to sticking in my old Super Nintendo and seeing how that is, doesn't look nice. Or the Wii emulation.
It's night and day, isn't it? It's proper night and day.
And for me, a lot of these games I last played on the Wii U Virtual Console, which doesn't do them any justice. Still great, you can play them, but they're kind of murky. Murky. It was Mario Kart, and then from Mario Kart it was Final Fantasy 6, which I never played, and I'm a massive fan of the PlayStation 1 era Final Fantasy games. And I got sucked in for about an hour straight away. I was like, no, let's just check the system out. Super Mario World, Street Fighter, quick go at that, Super Mario World.
Nice. I also had a go of a few other games. Played Mega Man for about...
Mega Man X, yeah.
Mega Man X. Played for about 15 minutes. Yeah. I did. The problem was I played Castlevania for an hour before that, and I'm sorry, but Castlevania was a lot better than Mega Man.
I think you like Castlevania. Super Metroid is going to be...
I'm going to love it. I haven't got to that game yet, because I'm sitting there. You will do.
You've got to play Super Metroid. It's just the one. Castlevania, yeah.
I loved it.
Amazing though, right?
The thing is, for that age of that game, the music is beautiful. I was just like, I was blown away. I couldn't remember what the music sounded like. I had played it a few years ago, but just because I couldn't get the game, I did kind of just play it on an emulator to see what it was like. And now I don't, because I was going to buy the cart, and I was like, I wasn't really that overly interested, probably because it was just a shitty emulator, so I just wanted to test it out. But now I've got it on my Classic. I like the fact that it's there.
Yeah,
it's ready.
It's just ready there. It takes a few seconds to boot up.
Instant save, no worrying about
Rewind
battery
feature as well, which
rewind,
is pretty cool. Yeah, none of that having to load your save state nonsense. Just rewind save state back a little bit.
Well, you can still do save states as well.
Yeah, you can do save states, but each save state allows you a different variance in the amount of time you can go back.
I kind of, what I did with Castlevania, I didn't bother using the save state. I just went all in, all my lives, got to stage 3 and went, this has taken me ages. And then I saved it where it was. I saved it as soon as I got to start stage 3. I got probably halfway through stage 3 and then just kept dying and went, okay, I can come back to this when I've got a bit more time.
Well, what library of games? You've got so many games to play there. Some of the best turn-based RPGs of all time. It's missing Chrono Trigger. I've never played Chrono Trigger, but everybody knows. It's in the conversation for one of the best RPGs of all time. But at the same time, I think it might be missing Chrono Trigger, but you still get hundreds of hours of RPG gaming alone on that system.
Yeah, exactly.
In Super Mario RPG and Final Fantasy and Secret Mana. And then you've got just some of the best versions of Nintendo's franchises ever on there. I mean, I didn't really get to try any other games other than Final Fantasy 3, which I haven't played before, but I was pretty surprised. The music immediately was fantastic. I didn't think. I mean, I've heard Final Fantasy 3 music before. I went to see the Final Fantasy music orchestrated live. I forgot what it's called now. Distant Worlds. Niru Matsu was there, and it had some music from Final Fantasy 6. But yeah, it still holds up today. It looks like the game could be built with the art style that's trending at the moment with the retro. Some of these games just look like they've been pulled out of this year from an indie team or something incredible. And you haven't got to Super Metroid yet. But when you do,
Yes. When I do, I will play it. I think we should do. We'll watch this space. We'll stick some Metroid gameplay footage on for a laugh and see how well we kind of do. I will get killed a lot because I die a lot in these games because it takes me a while
You're
to
probably
get
going
used
to
to.
panic in the first few minutes because no game creates better anxiety in an opening than that game. Like the timer and the music and screeching of the bad guys. Yeah, you're going to really, really enjoy it. I asked a few guys what their first go-to game was. Quite a lot said Super Mario Kart.
Really?
Yeah, I was quite surprised. Or Super Mario World.
I had another colleague at work was saying to me Secret of Mana. They were trying to tell me Secret of Mirrors, and I was like, no, it's not Secret of Mirrors. And we eventually worked out Secret of Mana, but it did make me laugh. So I was like, oh, that was quite interesting.
I'm just yeah.
Oh, and Mario World as well, of course.
I just look at the buzz that everyone has for it, and it's like how many, semi-licensed versions of a Sega Mega Drive have come out. Nintendo somehow gets the buzz right, they get the hype right. Maybe it is to do with the rarity of their products, but everyone's just so excited. And
but it's not dodgy companies making dodgy boxes.
It's worth its money, man. I'm telling you, £80.
It's Nintendo producing their own system. If you're gonna do it, don't do half a job. Do it properly.
Yeah, I mean, don't stick 80 games on there if 60 of them are not going to be worth it.
Yeah, and probably another 20 aren't even Mega Drive games.
Yeah. No, yeah. Well,
so they're just poor ports.
I'd rather have the HD upscaling and the pixel perfect. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you what your favourite picture was. So what did you go for? What have you left yours on?
Oh, I went for the wood border.
Cool.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, and then I was looking at the one with the speakers. But I think the wood one just makes it feel a bit like an old cabinet in the arcade. So yeah, I went for that.
I went for scan lines.
And you went for the 4-3 scan? Yeah,
oh yeah, man. Went with the speakers on the TV because obviously of my setup. My setup basically is 2 speakers either side. So because there's 2 speakers either side, it was quite good playing Castlevania because I can hear the audio, and I really, really quite like that. And I love the scan lines because for me, it gives it, especially on the monitor that I use, it gives it a certain look.
Well, some of the borders, actually, the accent to the colour changes with the background in the game, which is pretty clever. Or, I suppose, the most prominent colour on the screen. Yeah. But yeah, I went with Pixel Perfect. Nice. I know 4.3 is, again, it's in high resolution anyway. The games were built in the way that they were built, and then because of the older TVs and the way that the rear projection TVs and tubular TVs worked with a slight curvature to the screen, it would often not match up to what you had on the screen, would match up to what was being processed from the system.
Yeah.
So I've just been playing it in Pixel Perfect mode just to see really if that was what the developers were going for, or if it just looks a little bit more crispy, a little bit slimmer. Mario isn't as fat in Pixel Perfect mode.
No, you got to have Fat Mario.
He's lost weight over the years.
Yeah, he's not a plumber anymore, so he's just pounding on the pounds, isn't he?
Yeah, he's jack of all trades now, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
I think it's all the sports help.
Yeah, I think so. I'm just thinking the latest one is because he's getting naked at the beach. His nips out.
Yeah. He's hit that midlife crisis. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, all in all, in a nutshell, we can say that we really like it.
Yeah.
I've heard criticisms about the having to push the actual reset button, and I can see why for some people that might be frustrating, especially if you're not from the era where you actually had to go out and put a game in and change the disc.
But then we're from the era where games weren't as accessible. You bought that game, you had to be careful what you bought, and it better be good because you got it for 6 months.
You never got YouTube trailers. You used to go to Blockbuster and rent, and then you're like, but is it worth the rent? And then you rent it, and you're like, well, then I'm probably going to buy it. Sometimes you just went in on the back of the box. The box told you if it was going to be your game or not.
Yeah.
Mega Man did not look like Mega Man on the front of the box that way. But that gripe, like, I can get it for some people. It doesn't bother me. It would have been nice for them to just done a button combination to pop back into maybe the home menu. But if the lead's that short anyway, which is a fair criticism, you're in arm's reach of the console. I think you've got life problems if you're a normal, healthy individual and you can't get up and hit that reset button.
But then in some of those games, Oh, you really? Once you start getting something like Secret of Mana or Final
You're not going to be
Fantasy,
jumping up and chatting.
Earthbound as well, you are not going to be getting that chair.
If you're going to use a system as you would do any normal system, which someone like me will do, you're not jumping in and out of games. You wouldn't do it on your PS4. You put your disc in, you sit down for the evening. That's the game you're going to play, right? And I think
definitely.
I think that's something that people aren't considering. Yeah, I've heard a lot of complaints about the cable being too short, but it's longer than the SNES cable I got. So, again,
Exactly. Well, we measured it against the Famicom one that I've got, and it's
the Japanese ones are
a little
starkly
too
short though. Anyway,
Yeah.
Naturally, their environments and their housing situations they get quite close. But yeah,
I didn't mind anyway. I've got probably one of the final questions that I wanted to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a two-part question. So the SNES Mini hack. Have you heard about it?
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, the SNES Mini's running pretty much the same OS as what's on the NES, right? In one way or another, it's the same architecture. I think it's probably just the same components with just some of the cores on whatever onboard processor on that system just allow it to run a bit faster. That's how I imagine it's done between the NES and the SNES. In terms of ROM hacks, I don't know much about it. If you put a ROM on there, does it also upscale it? Does it run the game in the pixel?
Yeah, it does. It does it like the SNES.
But it's a collector's piece. I don't know if I want to mess about with it. I'm
it
quite
depends.
happy just to. I got my emulation on my computer, but then I ain't got the SNES control.
Exactly, that's the thing. You're kind of in two minds.
I'm
something
quite
I want.
confident I wouldn't do it.
It's just whether if you really want to do it. Like me, there was only probably
You're definitely gonna do it.
half the reason is I like to know how it works, and I'm just too curious for my own.
That's why
good.
I don't need to do it. I've got you to do that.
Yeah, we'll just mess around
We'll
with
do a
it.
video on it. It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be quite cool. We can do a video on it and see how it all works.
Well, on the NES, you could play Sega Master System games, Mega Drive games. It wasn't just Nintendo games. It run emulators essentially on there. Some SNES games worked on a NES Mini. Some 64 games run, but are like 5 frames per second. They weren't playable. But it's just interesting to see that it's kind of like a Raspberry Pi, but it's something you want on your shelf for everybody to see.
Exactly, but I wouldn't. For me, if I was gonna do it to keep the stuff, or would I do it just to test it to see how they look? There would only be a few games that I wanted to add. Not, I don't want. I don't know how big the library is. 500-600, possibly more.
Probably in the thousands if you're talking about like every possible game and variation. Yeah, I mean Street Fighter alone probably comes up to.
Yeah, bloody hundreds of times. But I wouldn't want that. What I'd want to play is I like what they've got. I personally think I would have liked maybe there's about 5 other games that I would like to have put on there.
Super Bomberman.
Yeah, that is a good Bomberman actually. That
what? That's one of the best versions of Bomberman.
Yes, I agree. I played that and I thought it was pretty decent.
You can't play 5 though. Oh, they should bring out accessories.
Yeah, so we can
multi-tap, 3-player.
Do you have one for the Wii? Maybe they could do that on the Wii.
No, they didn't. No, because every Wii remote was the means to connect the controller, right?
Of course, and that was already 4-player.
I'm sure you guys may have come across the news. The classic controllers for the Wii have a home button, which works as a home button. And the SNES Classic.
That's also what I was going to...
If you can't be bothered to get up, there's always that.
Really?
Yeah. You just hit the home button and it pops back into the home.
So that's why they've gone up in value, because I was looking at the price of them yesterday. But I'm happy with the SNES controller. I don't want another controller. I really like that controller.
It's a very nice controller.
Yeah, exactly.
You can use it on Virtual Console for Wii.
Yeah, you could do, couldn't you?
And you can use it to play Mario Kart 8 because there's enough buttons.
Oh my god.
So you can drift and you can use the D-pad as a means of control or an analog stick.
But would you want to? After you've got used to having the analog stick, especially playing it on the Switch?
No, I don't think you would want to. But the fact you can is pretty cool. Even that's still proprietary. It would have been good if it was USB, but I get why Nintendo went for
Did the analog sticks work?
On the classic?
Yeah, on so if your classic controller that's got analog sticks and put that on the SNES Mini, do they work?
I think analog stick acts as a second, like, digital D-pad, I think. I don't know for sure. But that's a good point, because Street Fighter might. I mean, I'm a D-pad kind of guy for Street Fighter.
Street Fighter and maybe a little Mario Kart with the D-pad, just to see, instead of the D-pad.
It's so hard to control even.
Yeah, true. I did actually play it and was like, wow.
Yeah. Drifting is not quite what you expect it to be.
Oh, yeah, you're just going straight off a track.
So, one thing I think we've wanted to touch on is what sort of games we think that like we would personally wanted to see on there that aren't on there, that we're maybe disappointed in the fact. Not disappointed in the fact, but just a bit perplexed, or would if it could be changed, if we could make that change, what would we change? I'll start with you. If you can list 3 off the bat.
Street Fighter
2, Street Fighter 2 new challenges. Every Street Fighter game.
Well, you could have. I'd want Killer Instinct, and we talked about why Rare wouldn't have this. I would like one of the double. There's a Double Dragon which I quite liked on the SNES. I can't remember if that's
3. No?
It's 3, 2 or 3.
I think it's 3.
And
if it is,
and I'd also wanted Battletoads on there, which was a great
ridiculously
game.
hard game.
Yeah, it was a ridiculously hard game, but I loved it.
That's a weird. I hear a lot about Battletoads. It's like a sort of like Marmite of SNES games. Some people love it. I think probably because it's so hard. Some people hate it probably because it's so hard.
I actually rather enjoyed it. I get getting killed, obviously.
I think it's really 3 obscure games. So we've got Battletoads.
Yep, we've got
Killer Instinct,
and
you can't want it that much.
Yeah. So Battletoads, Killer Instinct, and I've forgotten Double Dragon. That was it.
Yeah.
Just for what your 3?
Mine would be Chrono Trigger, because I've never played it, and it's just synonymous with the console. Super Bomberman. And I think about. I would have liked. I mean, Signosis said this the other week. Like talking about F-Zero, and having an N64 DD would be cool to get those. But there was an F-Zero 2 on the SNES. Kind of. It was referred to as F-Zero 2, but it was a F-Zero for the BS satellite view system that they had. The add-on, the modem that went in there.
Oh yeah.
And it would have been good to see that sort of like bundled in as and never released in the West. You got Star Fox. I mean, I'd much rather that personally than Star Fox, but I get why Star Fox is there for my historical collector's perspective. But yeah, I mean, there were.
And what about all the Super Marios? Because we didn't get lost.
They should have dropped World off and put in Super Mario All Stars Plus World because.
Yeah.
But then.
I know you got it on. Because it's all in one. Because you didn't get the one thing I noticed about those. I don't think you get the Lost World, do you? Which is essentially the harder version of Super Mario 1.
Yeah.
Did you get that on
All Stars? You get Super Mario Bros. 1, Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, which is which is
3.
really Super Mario Bros. 2.
Yeah.
That's what Super Mario Bros. 2 was meant to be, but the Japanese deemed too hard for Americans, so they made Super Mario Bros. USA, which is Super Mario Bros. 2. You're following that, and then Super Mario Bros. 3, one of the best games ever made. Is on there, and then they later on towards the end of the system's life, I think around about 94, 95, they released Super Mario All Stars Plus World, which to me probably before the SNES Classic would have been the best compilation of games on a single cart. I think there is. I don't think there's any better compilation games on a single cart out there.
Yeah.
Which would have been fantastic to have on there, because I actually prefer those versions more than the NES versions. The other versions I've got playing, so nostalgia is a bit. Yeah, but the controls just felt a bit more refined.
Bit tighter, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially running.
More appealing on the eye as well. So
definitely, I thought when I played Super Mario Brothers, because I've been playing on my 3DS, that's actually really tight. The controls. I didn't realise it until I played
Super Mario Bros. 1.
No, Super Mario Brother World. I've got it on my
Super Mario World.
Yeah, Super Mario World on my 3DS.
Yeah.
And I've got it on SNES Classic, and on the 3DS, I thought it was really tight controls. I actually quite like it with a little nub, which I didn't think I would like it as much, but I think I've really adapted to it playing both of them. They're both tight controls, but
their games are classic. They just never.
96 levels.
I think that is probably for me the biggest. It would have been good to have that compilation there. Yeah, I think that's that. Well, we're going to probably cut this and try and get some over-the-shoulder footage, because we haven't got a capture card this week of us
No, sorry.
SNES Classic. Trying to beat Nigel at every possible Clark game there is on the SNES Classic. But bear with us as we prep that up and set up, and we'll cut to it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you very much.